Hey, what's up? And welcome back to this series where I share my experience for the process from buying on Marketplace, refreshing, and then flipping that same PC back for a profit. In today's video, I walk you through the first steps, which is knowing which PC components and what are most important and how to compare them on Marketplace. If you like this video, please give me a solid thumbs up and subscribe for more videos coming soon. All right, this is where it starts, Facebook Marketplace. I want to walk you guys through a couple of the things that I look for when I'm looking for PCs. I'm also going to show you a couple of the websites that I use in order to help me compare components and identify, number one, maybe the age of the components, how good they are compared to some of the PCs that are available now. I also really want you guys to pay attention to the pricing. You're going to see very different pricing, and that's where this market really allows us to be able to buy these and flip them for a decent income, knowing that there's so many different price ranges for similar PCs. It's really about how clean you can make it, taking those really good pictures and videos, and then posting up with really good ads. So let's get started. All right, here it is, Facebook Marketplace. Some of you may be familiar with this, some of you may not. It's very simple. If you've got a Facebook account, you can access the Facebook Marketplace. And when you go into Marketplace, what it's going to do is show you all of the things that are listed around your area. And there's a ton of different categories. What we're focused on is PCs and gaming PCs. Now, I'm fortunate enough where I'm in Oklahoma City, so I keep my distance very limited, right? Only 30 miles. If you're buying these PCs and building them to flip for a profit, you don't need to be traveling 2 to 3 hours out of your way to go get these PCs. That's going to cost you a lot of time and money and really dip into your profit. Now I want to show you a couple things on here that I look for, and it's pretty simple. I just type in PC and we're looking at all of the different pictures. And yes, I do like to start with the pictures and kind of go from there. The first thing I'm looking at is how attractive are these computers? Because remember, visuals really can sell. If it sold you, it's going to sell the person that you're trying to sell the PC to as well. So the first thing I'm doing is taking a look at some of these cases and the RGB fans that are on. Now, you could easily buy any of these and add RGB fans to it, but remember, we're trying not to invest a ton of extra money into this on top of what we're doing just initially buying the PC. So the first thing I'm looking at is just the case, the pictures, but then I'm also looking at the description to see what kind of components they have. Now this one here is one that kind of caught my attention. $500, not a bad price, but when I look at it, it's a Ryzen 5 with a 2070 for the graphics card. Not too bad. I could probably flip that for a little bit, but I'm really kind of looking for something a little lower to start out. This one here is not too bad. 270, but it says PC and parts, right? I'm not looking for parts. I don't want to part PCs right now. I'm looking for one that's complete and ready to go. Let's just scroll down a little farther and see what we get. This one doesn't look too bad. 350 gaming PC. Looks like it's got some RGB lights. Let's go ahead and check that one out and see what that one is. Excellent condition. Ryzen 3 3100 4-core, and it's got an AMD RX 580. Okay, not too bad. But here's what I want to show you guys. Let's go ahead and go back out of this. So that one had a Ryzen 3. If you don't know anything about computer components or you're not sure what you're looking at, this is the website that I use. It really helps me compare back and forth of what I want to do. So I'm going to click on CPU and we're going to do compare. Now check this out. This gives you a list of all of the components that can be listed under CPU. This user benchmark is amazing. What it does is it rates the computer component that you want to type in, and it gives you a rating on speed and performance in terms of real world use. These are benchmark tests that have been done by people and their computers that they upload and utilize on this website. So we know for a fact that that one was a Ryzen, oh no, that was a Intel i3. Okay, hold on. All right, let me back up. I'm good. Yeah, no, that was a Ryzen 3. Ryzen 3. So if you didn't know, you could easily type in here Ryzen 3. I think that was a 3100. Yeah, 3100. Ryzen 3. Okay. And check it out. It will tell you all about that computer chip. It tells you how many cores, how many threads. Here's also something that I like to take a look at. It tells you the release date, right? It lets you know how old this chip is. Maybe it was a brand new chip that was just installed in a computer last week, but in the end, it tells you how long ago this particular component was released for sale on the market. So this here, we're in 2025. This is about a 5-year-old computer chip. The other thing that kind of persuades me not to buy this PC is it's only 4 cores. Now, you can certainly game on a 4-core CPU, but generally, I really try to stick to 6-core and above. That's going to be your sweet spot, especially as you're trying to resell these against some of these other ones that might be 4-core, or even some of these older gaming PCs or laptops. So I'm probably not going to do that. Now, the other cool part is, let's say you wanted to compare that to another CPU. Okay. So, and I love this because this gives you the top up here. Now, let's say, I'm going to just do this. Let's say we had a computer we were looking at that also had these two components, right? Ryzen 7 5800X. It's an 8-core CPU that was released back in 2020. We have a Ryzen 5 series, 9000 series, which was just released about 6 months ago. Now, the price comparison, not too far off, right? Maybe an extra $80 or so for this one. But take a look at this. This is a 6-core CPU versus 8-core. Now, generally, the higher core means the better performance. However, look at the release date. Again, this one was just released. So even though this Ryzen 5 9600 is only 6-core, look at the overall performance. Ranked 43rd among all of the CPUs that it has calculated in here, versus the older Ryzen 9 chip at 109. So to be honest, if I was looking at two PCs and each one had one of these CPUs in it, and they were both about the same price, I'd probably end up going for the Ryzen 5 9600. It's going to offer better performance. Let's go back to Facebook here real quick. Didn't really like that one. That one was a 4-core CPU. Let's see if we can find it. Here's another good example. This is a custom gaming computer, right? Listed for $250. They originally had it listed for $350. Now, it was only listed 2 days ago, but this is also something that catches my attention right here. This is a Xeon E5 computer chip. I really try to avoid those. Anything that's not a Ryzen chip from the AMD or the new Intel i5s or i9s, usually an 8th gen or generation or 9th generation or higher, I try to avoid. Not that they're bad computer chips, not that they're terrible for gaming, it's just a preference. These don't offer a lot of the compatibility and the functionality that the Ryzen chips do or the new Intel chip. So I'm probably going to avoid that one. Let's keep searching. And this one doesn't look good. I think this might be our winner. Pictures look good. Got a good setup. Yep, I see 3 RGB fans in there. Pretty solid. So I'm looking quickly just off the picture. I see 1 RAM stick, which either means 8 gig or 16 gigs of RAM. That's probably an RX 570, RX 580 graphics card. This is probably going to be a 4-core or 6-core computer chip, most likely a Ryzen. Let's take a look at the comments or the description here. Now, the problem that I don't like about this one is it's very generic. As you can see, it's got this full-on, somebody copied and pasted all of the specs for this computer just out of thin air from what they found on Google. I don't really like that. But if I quickly see, I can find, okay, this is a Ryzen 5 3600 6-core, which is pretty solid. Not a bad gaming PC. It looks like it's got 8 gigs of RAM. That's 8100 megabytes, but that's 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm looking for, did I miss it? Processor. Yep, I'm not seeing it. I don't see it having listed on here for the graphics card. Oh, nope, there it is. Very bottom. Yep, card name, RX 580. So I was right. So, and RX 580s are generally going to be your 8 gigabyte graphics card. Now, this one's listed at $400. They did list it 5 days ago, so it looks like they just listed it. To be honest with you, that's still a little higher than what I would like to pay for that computer. something like this with a 6-core CPU that's a little older and an RX 580 that's also a little older, I generally don't like to pay more than 300, maybe 350 at the most. Because again, I'm going to probably try and flip this. If I had this particular one, I'd probably list it for $599, maybe $550, and then I'd probably go down to about $500 or so, for releasing that. Yeah, probably about $500 is what I would sell that for. That's gonna, if I end up picking this up for $350, that's gonna keep my profits right around $150. I'm always trying to target about $180 to $200 or higher for most of my PCs. It takes you time to go pick up the PC. It takes you time to fix and repair the PC. It takes a little bit of time to clean the PC. So what you want to focus on is that hourly rate, right? How much do you want to make per hour? And when I'm doing this, I'm really focused on that $100 to $150 per hour rate. So this one's not too bad. Now, one thing that I want you to do is, if you're kind of new to this and you've never done PCs before, or you're not sure what some of these components are, let's do this. We said it was a Ryzen 5 3600. We're going to type that into the box here. And what this will do is this will give you all the details of the component. Right? So here we go. 6-core CPU. And it was released back in 2019. So that's going on almost a 6-year-old computer chip. Now, Ryzen 5 6 cores are still pretty popular, but at the same time, that's a little older of a chip. That's why the PC is going to be much less expensive. This is way different if we were to compare this one to, let's say, that Ryzen 5 9600 that we just took a look at. It's going to be much, much more powerful. Look at the rating, right? 227 out of 1400. That other Ryzen 5 that we looked at that's brand new was ranked like top 50, top 60. So, not to say that it can't game, not to say that it's not super powerful, but it's definitely got some opportunities. Now let's take a look at that graphics card. RX 580 by AMD. Probably going to be around the same time frame. Oh yeah, look at that, even sooner. So back in 2017 is when the RX 580 was originally released. Now, a lot of these can have different memory strengths, video memory, and different power, but generally your RX 580 is going to be around the 8 GB video memory. Now, one thing to keep in mind is look at the graphics card power on that, 128 rank. Now, if you're familiar with a lot of the graphics cards that are currently out, right, you can go into Best Buy and probably pick up a computer with an RTX 4060 in it. Maybe around $700-800. So let's take a look and see. Look at the rank on a basic 4060, right? Standard 4060, 45th rank out of all the GPUs that it's got on there ranked. This is what I wanted to show you, right? So if you're going to buy a PC that you're trying to flip for, I don't know, $600 or $700, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because somebody's going to compare that and say, well, I can just go get a 4060 that's way better power and way better rank on that for just a few bucks more. So I really want you to keep that in mind as you're taking a look at your computer components between your CPU and your GPU, your computer chip and your graphics card. So again, this isn't a terrible one. It looks pretty decent. The case looks like it might be clean. One thing that I don't see on here are any additional pictures. I also don't see, it's missing the glass right. So I wouldn't necessarily just go ahead and decide to buy this or even send an offer at this point. What I would do is probably send them a message and ask them if they have any more pictures. Say, hey, if you have any more pictures, can you please send me some? And then be nice, right? Say thanks. There you go. Send that away and let's see what they respond with. If they've got a few additional pictures, that's great. I would love to see if they've got the glass case, the glass part on the side here as well. Because if they do, then clearly you've got a complete case. I also want to see if there's any dents or dings on the outside as well. That can really play a big role when you're trying to resell this. Nobody wants a beat up PC. Now, if it's, minimal power inside with a 6-core and an older graphics card, that's not a big deal because people just want to get into gaming. But if it looks like crud because it's all beat up or there's a bunch of stickers all over it, either you're going to need to replace the case or you're going to spend a lot more time trying to convince people why they should buy this beat up PC versus somebody else that's got one listed out there. So again, when you look at the price, right, $400 versus some of the other ones that we've seen, Let's do another comparison real quick. So this was an RX 580 graphics. Let's search RX 580. Generally, you're going to find a lot of individual graphics cards as well. Let's see if anybody's. There's another one. Okay, take a look at this one. Let's see what we've got for pictures here. So take a look. Description: same Ryzen 5 3600 chip, 16 gigs of RAM in this one, 2 terabyte hard drive, HDD is hard drive, and the graphics card is an RX 580. That's a pretty solid one. So it looks like it's pretty comparable to the one that we just looked at. However, it's already listed at $100 less, and it has more storage and another 8 gigs of RAM. It's got a total of 16. Let's see what the pictures look like. Okay, pretty clean case. I see just a few nicks there, no problem. I can probably clean those out. Doesn't look too terrible, maybe a little dusty. So cable management under here, I can see that's the first thing I'm going to look at. That's something I might kind of try to clean up. Looks like they've got dual RAM sticks. They look like they might be the Corsair RAM sticks, which are pretty decent. XFX is a pretty decent brand for your graphics card. So they've only got 3 pictures. Okay, so not too bad. I like this one. So remember, already $100 less for this PC versus the other one, and we haven't even submitted an offer yet. Now, same thing, I don't see the glass case on this side. They probably just took it off the pictures. So I would go ahead and probably just submit over and send them a message. It looks like I think I've already sent them a message. It says message again. So I'd probably send this individual message saying, hey, just to confirm, do you have the glass case on the side or the glass piece? If they confirmed back, this is go time, right? This is when I'm like, okay, I really want to calculate what can I probably sell this for. We've already seen another PC that's out there that's similar to this. It's listed for $400. Now, granted, it hasn't sold yet, but right? They just listed it. Same with this one. This one has only been listed for 6 days. So if I'm thinking, okay, I could probably list this maybe even for $500, but let's say my target sale price for this was maybe $450. Right? I'm going to go $50 above what the other one is listed at, but I'm still trying to make about a $200 profit. From $450, I want to get this thing down to $250. Now, I'm not going to just shoot them a message right away and say, hey, $250 cash for your broken ass PC, like, pardon my language. Like, that's not what we're going to do. We want to be nice about it, right? They're trying to make money, but at the same time, they're not just they're dealing with all these other jokers and yahoos on Marketplace. And trust me, there's a lot of them. So when you send messages, you really want to be cautious about how you send it and what you're looking for. So the first thing I would probably do is just send them a message and say, hey, do you still have this PC? Or is it still available? For some reason, my messaging chat is not opening up here. It won't let me do it. But yeah, just send them a message and say, hey, you currently still have this PC available. Wait for them to respond. Right? Let them send back and say, yes, I still have it. That'll give you an indication, number one, to proceed further, so you're not wasting your time sending them this long message about what you want to offer to them, and then they respond back and say, oh, nope, I already sold it, sorry, I just didn't pull it down, right? Once they respond back, that's your opportunity then to go in and make an offer on the PC. No, you don't want to lowball them. No, you don't want to send, hey, can I get this PC for $100? What you really want to offer is say, look, at this time I'm looking at a couple other PCs. I'm trying to spend around $250, maybe even $275, if that's what you're comfortable with. Would you be willing to accept that in cash today? Pause. Let it go. Don't say anything else. Let them think that through. Let them respond back before you start blasting them with any other messages. Really let them have the opportunity to let that settle in and think that, okay, man, I've had this listed for a few days. Maybe I've gotten a few people message me. Maybe I've got a bunch of people hit me up and then ghosting me. This person's offering me decent money that's pretty close to my asking offer without lowballing me too much. They're probably going to accept it. They might counter with just a few bucks more, but either way, that's a pretty good deal. This one could easily be flipped for about $150, maybe even $200. And again, he's only had it listed for 6 days. This is one you could probably take home, clean up, and flip. I would say for, within about a week, you could probably have this thing sold and have another $150 to $200. So I'm going to end it there. I really wanted you guys to see this and walk you through the first steps of what I do and how I'm calculating out Number one, where's my profit going to come from? What kind of PCs I'm looking for? What PCs are available out there for sale around your area? And then do some research, right? Really compare the components on each of these to the newest components that are out. Again, the last thing you want to do is go buy a PC for $500 because you want to mark it up to $700. But then when you go and compare it, I mean, you can go to Amazon or Best Buy and find some of these same PCs for about the same price, right? You don't always have to be much, much cheaper, but you really want to make sure that you're offering a better value than, number one, spending $700 or $800 at Best Buy for new, but you're also getting you're giving them a decent computer for the price. So really keep that in mind. Thank you guys for joining the show today. I hope this helped you out. We're going to spend some time in the next video. I'm going to dive a little deeper into how I submit offers over, how I chat with people and kind of get on their good side when it comes to, getting this PC for a good deal, and then also scheduling a place and time for meetup. You really want to make sure you're being safe about this. And we'll talk more about how you schedule meetups, how to keep it safe, how to ensure that, your cash transactions or even your Cash App transactions that you send back and forth, you can keep them safe, keep them moving in the right direction. And then we're going to work on how we track the progress of our PT sales to ensure that we're making profit. I hope you guys like this video. I appreciate it. Drop some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you have any questions about a PC maybe that you found, or if you've got one in your area that you see that's for sale, and you're not sure if it's a good price or not. Hit me up. I'll let you know what I think. I've been doing this for a long time. I can kind of give you my personal opinion on what the prices should be, how they could be, even with the new graphics cards and new components coming out. There's still plenty of value in these older components and lots of money to be made. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.